I am awake and ready for the day, but also not at all. It feels so good to have coffee in the morning. So good. The first thing I'm doing this morning is both checking to make sure what tests have finished, because I don't think I really had any finish much yesterday. It was just like one that was close to finishing, actually two that were really close to finishing, that I'm going to check to see, get those results. Then also download all of the clips that I made yesterday for the Thursday vlog, and just so I have them that this weekend I can sit down and edit. Making some toast so I can have my avocado toast this morning. Also, to add more protein and really make this breakfast like a full like carbs, fats, and protein, I'm adding a egg over easy. So as you can see, I have now made my avocado toast. So it's literally just avocado, the Dave's 21 grain in the thin, and then egg over easy, still with a little bit of yolk because I do love the yolk. And I'm just finishing off the last of my coffee. Breakfast has been eaten, and I am about to get ready to go work out now because I do want to get some more great weight training. I can't talk. I want to get more weight training in today. As y'all can see, I am outside. I am going to walk over to the gym, and it's like 9:35 or something, so this is one of the earliest I've ever left my apartment. But yeah, just going off, and then I think today, because of some of the discussion I had with my advisor, maybe more of a reading day, planning things out, so I don't have anything crazy, so while I'm working out, I'll probably be thinking a lot about my research. The one nice thing about working out on a Friday is literally nobody is. As you can see, I can have this whole room, at least for right now, to myself. I just finished 40 minutes of weight training. It's a pretty good workout. I generally went lower on the weights. I also only did 3 reps of 15 just because that's what felt good, because I was still sore, so wanted to still work but not push myself too hard. So just walking back to my place, and then I'll get on with the rest of my work. This has been a very good walk, very calming, nice breeze, not like super hot out, which is good because it's June in Kentucky, which could be really hot and humid, but for right now it's good. Just gotta wait until, God, July's gonna be painful probably, but I'm just enjoying my walk. I am really pumped. I made it back from the gym before 11, which was something I was hoping to do because I've still got work that I'm like on my brain. I'm like, okay, I've got to try these couple of things and then send it off to somebody who can check it. Not doing some of the other calculations, but seeing how this is similar to what has been seen experimentally. So we'll see how all of that goes. I'm working on making a lunch. I had a tomato with some salt and balsamic vinegar. There's something with whatever the like tomatoes at Kroger's that they go moldy really quickly. So I bought 2 on Tuesday, and one of them has already started to go bad. The other one hadn't, so that's the one I'm eating right now. I'm also frying up another egg so I can have it with ramen, and that will be the rest of my lunch today. So I'm just kind of laying here soaking up the sun and just starting to read. I made some samples that I'm going to have a different person compare to what has been experimentally seen. A couple of different versions of like ordering, where I was like trying to still keep almost a symmetry with it and how I was like looking at the stuff, so it's not exactly the same as what I'd previously done. And of course she hasn't gotten back because I just sent her that email, and I don't know all the different, like if she has to go to specific computers that have the software to compare. So we'll see, because also apparently the funding stuff is like a little bit touchy right now just because some things haven't gotten through yet. But yeah, I'm just going to be reading this paper called Entropy Models and Descriptions for the Solid Liquid Regime in a Deep Eutectic Solution. This is something because we think that there's some weird stuff going on with this material, because
structure that is like highly symmetric theoretically is not actually the stable one, so we're wondering what's going on.
I am off to campus this time. It's because I'm meeting with some of the first year grad students to go over pre-qual stuff and kind of talk with them and teach them a little bit as needed, because that is a really scary thing to do as your pre-qual. And I don't know if they've had any previous meetings to kind of go over what will happen during the pre-qualifying exam. So I'm walking back from campus. The study session to help, I think, went pretty well. Just also chatted with the one kid. The others weren't there because they'd either forgotten or were really busy, so it happens. And just gonna go home. I'm thinking I'm gonna go see the Little Mermaid movie today, but I'm not sure. I'm home, as you can see, back in effectively my favorite spot to just like lounge in. And I don't think I'm actually going to go to the movies today. I'll probably go Sunday. I just didn't think about the fact that I probably should have ordered my tickets beforehand, and there weren't any really good spots at the theater that I was planning on going to that's like not super expensive. It was only going to be like $14 for a ticket, which is what I'd preferred than trying to go to like places like the Movie Tavern, which also was like they had a 6:20 showing and then like a 10 something showing, and I just didn't want to do that. So I'll go on Sunday, and I'll probably order my tickets like the day before just to be on the safe side. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of chill at home. I may actually order food, which I know seems so counterintuitive because I made an obscene amount of food yesterday, but it's a Friday and I'm just kind of feeling that, and I really, really want French fries, I think. So I'm waiting for my food, and I actually made that julep lemonade again. It's so good. I like had a little bit left over of the lemonade, and now that's gone. But I still have some club soda, and I still have the mint syrup. So I may play around, especially with the mint syrup in a bit. Maybe do something with like bourbon. I haven't been drinking as much, just because I was realizing at one point I'm like, I'm not really tasting. I'm almost just treating it like it's just something to drink, and that's not how I want to approach drinking. So yeah, I just was like, okay, we're going to not drink for a while. So yeah, but right now I'm like, having like an old fashioned sounds really good. So I may do that later. Maybe even use the mint syrup instead. Ooh, I like that idea. So I got my burger. I got a Cajun burger from this place called Bad Wolf, which actually, if you go to Bad Wolf, they have like a TARDIS painted on the side. So while it also is doing stuff like that's more Big Bad Wolf based off of like Little Red Riding Hood, they also acknowledge Bad Wolf from Doctor Who. So I did follow up and make an old fashioned of sorts. I used the mint simple syrup that I've had in my fridge. I put in the Point Rider bourbon that I have that I'm just going to try to work through slowly. And then lemon bitters, finishing with lemon twists. And the big thing is it just like the smell is very Lemonhead like esque. Don't pick up on a lot of the mint. Maybe should have finished this with mint leaves instead, but I didn't have any mint leaves left over now. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just it is tart. It is very tart. I'm gonna have to probably sip it a little bit more to get like my final opinions on it. I realized what was going on. I put too much simple syrup in. I believe if I remember my measurements correctly, it's actually supposed to be only a teaspoon. I will double check. Maybe it is the correct measurements, but now I'm just getting it and it's very sweet. Still getting the lemony. Don't mind it. So I did check. It was only supposed to be a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. So that's why it was insanely sweet. But honestly, I kind of liked having that sweeter old fashioned. It worked well with having the lemon in there. So that like sweet plus tartness worked out well, or sour. But yeah, I have just been kind of laying here. My sisters and I were figuring out our dad's birthday gift because our father's birthday is coming up. And I was like, okay, well, there's this option or that option. We got in a whole conversation about suitcases because our parents still have a lot of the old, like, carry suitcases, which are gorgeous to look at, but a pain in the ass to deal with. And, like,
the other suitcases that are rolling suitcases are getting close to their last leg. So that may be something that we're like, hey, if you guys want, because they are going to be doing more trips soon, hopefully. But yeah, that's just one where it's like, okay. It was kind of funny also because, and going through the suitcase stuff, I'm like, okay, well, mom's got the Hartmans, and then dad, I don't know about his larger suitcases, but I know for sure that he has a good carry-on suitcase because I explicitly remember having to wrap it for Christmas. And it was humorous because it was me and my middle sister who were the ones wrapping it, and we're the ones that are notorious for being really bad at wrapping gifts. And we're talking to the oldest, and we're like, you left us in charge of this. This was not a good idea, because she was back at her house. And that was actually the Christmas she got engaged. Yes, my brother-in-law did propose to her on Christmas Day. It's really sweet, because we always would do Skype or Google Hangouts. And we've been doing this actually since, 2007 for Christmas, because that was the first Christmas my eldest sister spent away from home because she was studying in Paris. And so we would call her over Google Hangout. I remember sitting at the laptop in one of my sister's rooms with headphones with a mic to talk with her over Christmas. She actually spent that Christmas in the south of France. But and that's not because we were some very rich family. She was actually working for a different very rich family in Paris. Because at that time my parents, of course, could pay for her to go to college and everything, but couldn't give her a lot of extra spending money because the euro was insanely weak compared to the US dollar, and my parents still had 2 other kids at home, so that kind of all played into the situation. But yeah, that was just one that was we did that, and since then we'd always if family was not there for Christmas, we'd have some sort of Skype call or Google Hangout, and now it's Zoom. But we've been doing this as a family for years. And with Christmas that year, my sister and her, right before then, boyfriend were planning on going on a trip to Europe. And that Christmas Day, her now husband, my brother-in-law, proposed while we're all on this call. And it was just amazing. And I think about that and I'm like, yeah, my brother-in-law won Christmas for the next couple of years. It was the other sister won Mother's Day a while back because she surprised actually me and our mother for Mother's Day by surprising our mother for Mother's Day by showing up, because she was living in Virginia at the time, but due to work she would be flying out to other states, and she's like, well, I'm in a state nearby, so I've got the weekend off, let's just fly home. So yeah. Oh wait, I do now remember a time where I actually surprised somebody, and that was 2019, right after Christmas. I went with my dad to visit his folks, and they didn't know, because my dad had planned this trip, and then I get home, and I was a little bit sad that he hadn't asked if I wanted to go, and he was like, do you want to go? And I'm like, yes, I want to see my grandparents. I hadn't seen them in, at that point, about a year and a half because of college stuff. And so he books the flight, it's all fine and dandy, and the only person that knew that I was coming for the trip was one of my aunts, because my dad's like, I had to tell at least one of your aunts to be okay, hey, Obi's coming. And so my grandparents had no idea. We drive up and they're just wait, what? And my other aunt did not know, nor did any of my cousins that knew my dad was coming into town. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, that was also when my aunt at one point was going to try to corner me to ask me about my boyfriend at the time, now ex. And my dad unintentionally blocked that whole situation because my aunt was like, I'm just gonna take Obi to go see the lights, and my dad's like, oh, I'll join. I'm like, I knew explicitly that my aunt was gonna ask me about my ex, again, boyfriend at the time, because she had seen us becoming Facebook official. And it was just kind of funny that he just completely blocked. And what was even funnier was then later on that at the family Zoom call for when I graduated from college, I mentioned my boyfriend, again, same dude, at that whole period of time. And my grandma's like, "You've got a boyfriend?" And I'm like, thinking to myself, my mother's like, "You don't want your grandmother to know." I'm like, just because you have a problem with your mother-in-law does not mean I have a problem with my grandma. And I didn't really care. I found it funny, mostly because I'm like, I could have sworn that that aunt would have told my grandmother and like grandfather about me having a boyfriend, but apparently she didn't. So that was just kind of interesting. Yeah, you're getting a whole bunch about my family dynamic, but that's completely fine.
I am about to head to bed. It is, what is it? Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. And yeah, I was watching for a little bit a video about Krakatoa, which just kind of, it sounded fun. And they talked a bit about tsunamis, which honestly are the thing that scares me more of natural disasters than like earthquakes, because you can kind of prepare for a tsunami. And that's always the stuff that we were taught to prepare for more in school for natural disasters, because like earthquakes, yeah, we did earthquake drills, but you never know. Although I will acknowledge, usually I more dealt with earthquakes in the spring and summer. That's just a thing. But the tsunamis are the things that always gave me more anxiety, I guess, even as a small kid. Because in Huntington Beach, we don't get tornadoes. Instead, our warnings that we would hear every Friday, like the first Friday of every month, was for tsunami warnings. And you would see like the paths for, hey, in case of a tsunami, you go this way to get to higher land. But I'm just kind of starting to fade tonight, so I'm gonna go to bed and I'll see you guys later. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.